Man, we are just roughing it, aren't we?
Ain't this just horrible?
This just horrible. Come on, man. Oh, you're stoking the fire. Well, get in here, man. Hey, stranger, you want to do a podcast with us?
Dude, so I finally got that piece of steak out of my mouth. It was like stuck in between my teeth.
Well, Chase, what do you want to do here, brother?
Shoot. I don't know. Oh, wait.
I think, first and foremost, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. We're trying to come up with a name. We got a couple names. We'll talk about it here in a second. But we have the one and only Chase Enmen with us here today.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the podcast, buddy. Introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am Chase. For those of you who haven't seen me in previous content, I was one of the OGs. We had some moves in between, so the distance kind of kept us from doing as much as we wanted to. But yeah, I got my boys here. For those of you, obviously y'all know Isaac. So Isaac was.
For those of you who don't know Isaac.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, me and Isaac are best friends. Though we obviously the distance sucks a little bit, but we always like to try and get in touch when we can. But yeah, that's me and
Chase Enmen, the one and only, out here in where are we at right now? What are we doing?
4 Mile, I think's what this town's called.
Dude, I couldn't tell you what the heck kind of town we're in right now, and I couldn't even tell you what kind of podcast setup we got rocking here tonight.
We're limping it, all right? Listen, fellas, our last podcast, we talk about being authentic and just making with what you got. We only got 2 microphones, and there's 3 of us right now.
Okay? We got 2 mics.
So Chase and Chase is putting out a fire right now. So
we got a forest fire.
if you guys are watching on YouTube,
I'm just
shout
kidding.
out to YouTube. If you guys are on the audio platforms, go check out our YouTube, Midwest Madness.
Midwest Madness, baby.
But yeah, like what we were saying, we only got two pod mics, and there's 3 of us here. So
'Cause we're
Chase and I will
broke.
be handing it off. Hopefully it's gonna be solid. We got a beautiful campfire.
Little smoky.
This is for the audio fans, okay? Shout out my mom. This is for the audio fans. We got a campfire right now. Just wait, do you guys hear that?
Oh,
Nothing.
yeah.
Absolutely nothing. And we're out here. We're chilling on some public land. Beautiful campfire. We just had some good steak and mushrooms.
Holy cow, boys. That steak was fantastic.
Shout out to the Johnson fan for putting us on the steak and mushrooms grind, okay?
We love the Johnson family.
Yeah, we're going to shout them out every podcast probably.
Don't clip that.
But
Is that a possible title?
what we
The
wanna-
Johnson family?
is that what we want to
Johnson
do in the pod?
Company?
Is that
No,
what we
we're
want to
not.
name the pod?
Hey, we love the Johnsons, but we got
Put a pin in it.
put a what in it? I have a pen.
But no, so we're chilling here. We're like, all right, let's film a pod. And so, yeah, so here we are.
Yeah, out here in eastern Kentucky on some public land, like Chase said. And that steak was absolutely fire. And we had some mushrooms with our steak. If you're listening to this podcast and you're not watching this video that we're going to drop along with the podcast, we had some mushrooms that Chase Newman cooked up. Look, man, I'm not even a mushroom guy. Those were absolutely amazing.
You can keep the mushrooms.
I think
Those were fire.
I think they changed my mind on putting mushrooms on steak.
Possibly.
I mean, hey, man, with a little bit of olive oil,
A little olive oil.
and some Montreal steak seasoning, just like what Dylan said,
Fantastic.
you can't go wrong. On a good cold bed,
Can't beat it.
can't beat it. I'm ready for
Praise God.
breakfast tomorrow.
Praise God.
God bless.
Yeah, Chase is gonna Chase Enmen. Yeah, man.
I got the eggs. I got a dozen eggs, a pound of bacon. We
Only
got
a pound?
hash browns, and then I'm gonna show you a little camping trick my grandpa showed me. You
Lord,
take a
buckle
can
up.
of, you take a can of biscuits and you lay them out in that cast iron skillet with the top on it. Yeah, dude, Dutch oven it. It's about to be so.
I was thinking about cooking
Speaking of
up a
Dutch
little
oven.
Dutch oven in the sleeping
Yeah.
bag. And man, that steak and those mushrooms, they were good, but you
So-
never know.
If you look back here, this is the setup for the night. We got
Bonus.
yeah. Here, let Newman take the mic.
We're actually making a YouTube video about this trip. So
Yes,
I don't know
we
if the video won't drop before the pod will, but when the video drops, check it out. You guys can get a whole behind the scenes, a whole setup, what we're doing right now. It's gonna be sick. I got my grandpa's 1975 Ford Ranger XLT. We hiked it all the way out here in eastern Kentucky on some ridge. It was awesome.
We literally looked it up on the way here. We had no idea where we were going. We just found something on X and straight up just headed this way.
Shout out to Chase for doing all the research about it. But we're definitely gonna be making some more trips out here. I think it's just sick, and there's nothing more primal.
Primals.
Than being
Dude.
out here in the woods doing what we're doing.
That's what we need to do. We need to make the podcast names. We don't really know, but we're sitting here and we're eating some steak and mushrooms, and we're talking about podcast names. We think base camp.
We like base camp.
We like base camp.
'Cause if you think of base camp, we're like a hunting trip, and you got base camp. When you get back to base camp, that's where everybody sits down at a fire, has their food, hangs out, tells stories,
That's
talks
where
about
all-
the old days. So we
that's-
like base camp because that's kind of what the podcast feel is, kind of leaning toward just sharing stories and moments. So that's
We
kinda
like
what we feel.
we like the title base camp. There's
Base camp
nothing
is a-
quite
it's a-
like it.
It's a huge title.
Let me tell you,
Hold on, I'm getting a call.
Midwest Madness base camp.
I'm
There's
getting a call
nothing.
right now.
It's
Who's
Uncle.
calling?
It's Uncle. It's Uncle Jay with the Italian meats. This guy, he's got the gabagool.
God bless.
God bless. Anyways,
we did. I snagged. We went to Walmart last night, grabbing a few things for camp, and I saw football and thought about something Isaac said the other day. He was talking about like how awesome it is to be an adult because you can just buy a football. Like when we
buy
were
it.
kids, like you had to save up for
Actually-
that, or you had to beg your parents or tell them you'll do something for it. Now you could just buy a football.
wait a second. I have an objection. Student pilot. I have no money. I'm not at that point yet,
Wait,
but I will get
I need
there.
to tell something. I need to tell everybody.
Okay.
I'm a pilot.
Yeah,
I'm a
dude,
student pilot.
there's this
with the
weird-
asterisk.
yeah, so if you don't know,
I'm a student pilot full time.
if you don't know, Chase and I have decided to complete yet again another side quest. So we're becoming pilots. And part of the pilot thing is that you have to endure being broke for a long time before you make a lot of
That's kind of
money.
why I stopped before I started.
Yeah, exactly. Chase Enmen was doing the ground school too, but
I still get the privates. I just I want to.
you're still getting the
I got another
privates.
opportunity. Yeah, the privates. I had another opportunity come up, so I kind of jumped on that, which is going to be a pretty cool trip or pretty cool endeavor. I get to go
Cool
on a lot
opportunity.
of free trips and kind of get some footage for some other videos, and it's going to be a blast.
Tell the people what exactly you're doing right now.
At this moment. Oh, okay. So I work. I don't know if I could say the name. So I worked for a couple years in a distribution center, working as a dock supervisor, and then was able to
Nerd.
put my hand in a. Call me what you want. The world runs on trucks, baby. So we had some events going on. I got to help out setting some of those up, and then I guess I caught some of the right people's attention. Had some conversations to kind of set myself up and talked myself into a job where I get to travel around for work and work from home, so I don't have to worry about reporting to an office
Or work from base
or
camp.
for base camp. I literally had. You can ask them. I had my laptop out on the way up here.
He's out here
was
making
still
calls.
because I knew I couldn't stop working. I had to keep grinding. So
Well, you got a little bit of flexibility now. You get to do kind of what you enjoy and work at the same time. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
So
and I will say one thing about you. You vision something. You set your mind onto it, and you do a very good job at everything you do. I mean, it could be just about anything. Starting a fire, cooking the steaks.
those steaks.
God bless.
God bless.
But no, I mean, the company that you work for now, I mean, they're very lucky to have you, and the position you have. It's awesome, and we're super stoked to see where you go at in the future. But I just want to say that just because we're just some normal dudes out here. We're not anything special. This isn't our full-time job. We're just some homies out here at base camp.
Base camp.
God bless.
12 hours. We just had time to do a small trip, so we're out here for like 12 hours. That's all we get. But we were like, we couldn't not do it. We have to go do it. So we just loaded up and headed this way because that's all the time you get. We don't get we don't get the time during the week. We all have other stuff to do, so we just make time when we can.
Look, man, like you said, you got to make time. If you're not making time to go out with your homies and do some cool stuff, you're missing out, because this is where the relationships and the friendships are built, man. You come out here and you make these core memories, and you spend time.
And why
with
not
good quality
document
people.
it, man? Why not document something like this? You may not even have to post it, but at least document it.
Right.
What I think about sometimes when we like take all these videos and I watch them all, is I don't think like, oh, that was a cool memory to have then, but like I think about when I'm old.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
For one, none of us know how our health's going to go. We could all have dementia, like, and to be able to look back at clips, and even if for fleeting moments, get to kind of relive those glory days, so to speak. I think that's kind of worth it.
Dude, I think for me, I'm definitely the type of person where like I go do something cool like this, and I look back at it, and I'm like, dude, I wish that I would have had more footage of that, or I wish I would have just like, I don't want to pull out the camera all the time, because some moments you just need to be there and enjoy it. But I feel like often I look back and I'm like, dude, I wish that I would have taken a picture of that, or, documented that, or just talked about it, or even like, I know it sounds weird, but even just journaled it or something.
Yeah, well, that's like what I was telling you the other day. Is like, dude, I think this stuff is just more like our journal. Like we're, a digital journal. And, some people like to like physically write out stuff what happened. I'm not a writer. Like I can't sit there and just write. My hand hand starts cramping. I can't do that.
My hand is cramping from that hatchet earlier, trying to cut a path through the woods, man. My arm is just knotted up right now.
Yeah, but this is our way.
We're documenting it. We're going to share it with y'all because we think our life is pretty interesting. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
No,
it may not be. It may be stupid.
It's definitely interesting.
Just like it.
We definitely are interesting individuals, man. We got a cool freaking friend group. We do some pretty cool stuff. God bless.
Kind of speaking of friend groups too, we get to tomorrow. This isn't the only fun we get to have this weekend. Today's my little brother's birthday, so we get to
shout out to Landon.
Yeah, shout out to Landon. We're gonna go out tomorrow with him. He's got a wife and kids at home, so he couldn't make it out tonight. But we're gonna do another one. But we're gonna go spend the day with him tomorrow. We're gonna be clearing out some last minute shooting lanes because he kind of moved his setup a little bit, and then we're gonna be hopefully getting to shoot some pistols.
It'll be pretty fun, man. I'm excited. Landon Enmen is quite the guy, man. You want to talk about some stories? That guy, buddy. Yeah. I tell you right now, we have so many childhood stories. Speaking of childhood stories,
oh yeah,
I say we just freaking share a couple of them. Yeah, because
hey, I'm here. I haven't heard probably half of what y'all have done. So
we've got Chase with us,
moderator.
So we might as well freaking talk about him. All right, look.
He's drinking a bottle of water.
This is, buddy, you need to take a drink before we get into this. And I'm not saying that we're going to share everything. This is one episode, but
we probably can't share everything.
Yeah, that's true. We were thinking about naming this podcast The Mean Green Jeans, because some of our stories from back in the day involve maybe, running when we see
we didn't. We didn't run, but we'd hide.
Yeah,
just get out of sight. Not on purpose.
If they're coming to check you, and
slow them down.
Whatever. But you know what, man? This is a podcast, and we're being real and we're being authentic. Yeah, I'm here to tell you guys right now. Look, I am legit. I have grown up, and I've decided it's probably best if I buy a license every single time, and I have all my ducks in a row. But when we were kids,
I think we kind of got scared straight when we went dove hunting a couple years back.
That happened. We'll share that story, but
yeah, we did the old banditos.
The deal is, look, when we were kids, I feel like we grew up like the Robertsons. If you know the Robertsons from Duck Dynasty, everybody knows the Robertsons. We grew up a lot like Cy and Phil from Duck Dynasty. Dude, we pretty much, so first off, Adam and Isaac and I, we grew up in South Carolina, man. We weren't city kids, but we didn't grow up in the country out there, right? So we came to Kentucky, and we had all this land and all this opportunity, and we didn't know what to do with it. We didn't know all the rules. We didn't know how everything was supposed to be. To be honest, we didn't know how to survive in the outdoors. We didn't know how to hunt or fish or anything. So we came to Kentucky and met Chase Enmen and his brother Landon and Jake.
That's where it all started. The funniest story about it, too, is like, so the reason we're all friends is because literally the first day of school, Isaac it was his first day in Kentucky.
4th grade.
Yeah, he was wearing dark blue jeans, boots, a buckle, and a yellow shirt. I don't know why that memory
Buddy
stands
was
out. I guess it's just
out,
that. Yeah,
dripped
yeah,
out,
he was,
getting all the 4th grade
looked like
women.
what's the Mason kid that did the yodeling? Like taking
Mason
that video.
Ramsey.
Yeah, that was Isaac in the video. The jeans, I don't think they were tucked in the boots, but I wouldn't have
Yeah,
been
they probably
surprised.
were.
But so when he showed up, he was kind of mid-year, and so Miss Cunningham, my 3rd grade teacher, put me in charge of helping Isaac get set up with his folders and putting all his stuff out. So like that's the very first interaction we had. So it was like fate,
dude,
that Miss Cunningham just so happened to put me with Isaac. And like you were talking about being like not city kids, but you didn't know how to survive. We didn't know nothing. We lived on 280 acres with ponds and everything. We had never been fishing. And so when Isaac showed up and we went out fishing there one time, we made this whole thing. Our parents were like, they went to the store for us and went to Bass Pro Shops and bought us some poles, and were like talking, because we didn't know all the different secret baits and all the moves, and they were like telling us like, the guy at the desk told us you want this one to work this way, you want to work it like this. And so it was funny because we didn't know anything. So like the fact that I'm sitting in the middle of the woods, I mean, I may have got here some other way, but like my childhood was not leading this way. And so meeting Isaac on a random, probably Tuesday in the middle of the school year was like one defining moment. Like it's a butterfly effect. If you take that away, I'm not even
in the picture.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, dude, the thing is that was the beginning of it, and you never would have ever imagined where it freaking took you guys. But Isaac and Chase kind of became, best friends. We went out there and started to learn and explore in the woods and everything. And then
the cool thing is so we were talking earlier about having a camera and document and everything. We were lucky enough. My mom had bought me a flip. I don't know if you remember the flips. They were a terrible design, but they were awesome. But Mom bought us a flip when we were probably 12, 13 maybe, and we recorded everything from when we were kids too. So like, yeah, we can definitely. I've got old footage. Yeah, I've got some on an external hard drive. I think yeah. But so it was awesome because like this was not like Midwest Madness was like a byproduct of what was original, which was the Big Bass Boys. And that's funny too.
Here, let's do the intro. I'm Isaac,
and I'm Chase,
and we are
the Big Bass Boys. Yeah, every time we tried to time it, and going back and looking, we die laughing every time because it was like a 2-second pause, and we were counting it down in our heads. You could see us like counting in our heads. But dude, like that was the thing. Like this isn't the start of our kind of like journey of documenting this stuff. We've got the footage from when we were like 10, 11, 12, and so we've got so many like hours and hours of videos of us going out and doing this exact thing and
being idiots.
Yeah, being idiots. There's no way we should have made it all out alive.
No
and
chance.
Honestly, in pretty good shape.
Dude, we built so many sketchy bike ramps on that farm in Goshen, Kentucky.
Well, and that's not to say that accidents didn't happen. We had one where going down where that flat bridge was in the back hill, was it you?
Yeah, it was me. I took a handlebar right to the freaking chest.
Yeah, we had another guy. We were riding on this track, another friend of mine back at the time. He took one, a handlebar, like right to the throat, and it was like freaking, like he couldn't breathe. Like he's good as far as I know. I haven't talked to him in like 10 years.
I just want to clarify. I want to clarify for anybody listening who thought we grew up with the nice bikes. No. We didn't. We found the junkiest bikes with just the metal rusted out handlebars and no rubber grips.
Well, and the thing too is they were banana, where it was you had the banana seat choppers, so they were already like 30 years old when you got them.
Sketchy. But, dude, we got out there, man. We lived the best life and the best childhood that anybody could have ever imagined. And the cool thing is that we have so many stories of us being idiots that, you learn from it. And we had so much fun. Our parents literally gave us the freedom to go out in the woods and literally be like, all right, don't come back until it's dark and it's dinner time.
Yeah, my mom would whistle. She'd get that 2-finger, just whistle, and it would rip across the creek. And we'd hear it. All our heads would perk up. We'd just come sprinting back.
Dude, that just sounds like like a movie.
Oh, it was the best.
Is this fake?
Dude, it literally felt like it was a movie. Like it was a old white Civil War era farmhouse on 200 acres, and there was just creeks and ponds out behind it. And genuinely, Mom, when it was time for dinner, would just step out on the back steps. It was like a full brick porch. The whole back porch was brick, had 12 or 13-foot columns. It was a beautiful place. And yeah, house is still up. We actually have, I think we have video footage of us going back to the
We went
house.
back to the house because it's, to us, man, it's emotional going back there. Literally,
we were
all
crying.
our best memories, like all of our best memories were made back there, dude. We would go back there for days, and we would make bow and arrows,
Yep.
and literally have like little wars in the front yard.
It's a
while our
wonder we all
parents
have
made
our
dinner.
eyes. It's absolutely astounding. We all have
Dude,
all our eyeballs.
They
in our
had a
heads.
little pond out there out front, and when the winter came, the pond would freeze over, and we decided to play some ice hockey one time.
This was
and-
rough.
You know, we didn't know how expensive golf clubs were at the time or anything, so we just took our dad's golf clubs and we would just use that as hockey sticks.
I
But
know, like looking back
with
now,
rocks.
like
with
now that I have my
rocks.
own set of clubs, if I came home and found out that a kid had taken them out and
Oh, man.
beat a rock across the pond with a golf ball, I would
No,
hunt
not
him
a
down.
golf ball.
Or no,
Golf club
golf clubs
and
Yeah.
rocks. But Isaac is a champ because, dude, this kid freaking took a shot, cross-court shot right to the eyeball
Yep,
one time.
split them. We could
Split
probably
his
drop
eye
a picture
open.
in somewhere.
Split his eye open. And so that's kind of like,
So, dude, that's not even the only victim that pond claimed that week. Later that week, Landon had one of his friends over, and we were
Austin?
skating. Yeah, Austin, and we were skating around, and he went feet up in the air and came down right on his mouth, and broke his front tooth in half. And like it was
sounds
like,
about right.
yeah, it was like a snowstorm, so like all the dentists and orthodontists were closed. Yeah, it was like the 2000.
The 2009 ice storm.
Yeah, so it was right around there, and so they're like trying to get him into like some emergency dental surgery
Not gonna
because he's got
happen.
a half a tooth, the nerves are exposed. It was a pretty rough time, but I mean, it's one of those things where at the time it's a mess and everybody's freaking out, and
Hey,
now you look back and it's literally just burned in your head. It's the most fun memory. you
look,
could
man, that 2009 ice storm, we had like 3 or 4 weeks off of school. And
yeah.
so what happened is our families moved into that house together during the ice storm because we lost power and they lost power. But we decided to literally all huddle up in one house together. And,
That sounds like a freaking
dude,
movie.
it was awesome. We literally, all the families, so me, Chase, Isaac, Adam, Jake, and Landon were all out literally doing dumb stuff for 3 or 4 weeks together during the snowstorm. Dude, we built an igloo that got on the news channel. Like I don't even know how that happened. Yeah, we were on Wave 3 News with an igloo that we built out there during the ice storm.
Who was that? Tom. I can't remember the weatherman at the time. My dad was. What was it? Tom. Yeah. On WHAS.
And welcome back to WHAS
Yeah.
News.
And we're going to be coming at you tonight with some updates on the weather coming in.
And we're out here in Goshen, Kentucky. We've got these boys out here. They built a pretty nice igloo. It's the only thing that we have to report on tonight.
And if we could find the picture, we'll drop it in right here. If you see the igloo, the structure, their father was a construction worker. So they took some tubs from the backyard and they made up an igloo.
And Peter, there they are. Look at these
Look
kids.
at them playing.
It looks like they've eaten ramen noodles and raw Costco hot dogs for the past 4 months, and that's because we had no money.
Not even if we had money that week. We were literally all trapped in the same house. Like we couldn't. I think they made one grocery run,
Dude,
and it was like we were eating soup, the same soup for like 4 days.
freaking soup, Costco hot dogs, dude. It's like, look, man, we don't have a lot of money, but we got Costco hot dogs,
So-
and you take a paper towel and you get it moist and you put it in the microwave for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And that's a
Dude,
delicacy.
I think we would put like some cheese and barbecue on it. Like
Dude,
that was.
We
that
made
was,
all kinds of creative.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear to you, the majority of the time, we didn't even have hot dog buns when we were growing up. I swear
a piece of
were,
bread.
we were eating just.
If you were
know,
lucky, you got a piece of bread. You just
Ah,
put it on a
man.
piece of white bread.
this bread
Wrap
is
it
less,
around that hot dog.
This bread is less stale than the other bread, so let's eat this bread. We'll eat the other bread for later.
This one's
for
got
dessert.
mold. We'll cut that piece of mold off that piece of bread.
You know what? Slice that mold off and just go ahead and eat on.
Do you, the world wants to know, would you guys eat the ends of the bread or no?
Dude,
Would you
I'm
still leave the ends of the bread in the bag, or would you eat them?
I swear to you right now, we had to eat the end pieces.
But as a full-grown adult, I will throw away a bag with 2 pieces of bread in it,
well,
and it's the ends. Unless I'm super, I will go into the kitchen to make a full sandwich and have 1 piece and the rump, and I will throw the rump away and fold the 1 piece in half and have half a sandwich because I refuse to eat that.
no, dude, I'm telling you right now, there were some days where literally, the other thing about our parents is they let us fend for ourselves, where they're like, if they're not making dinner,
They didn't just they weren't like.
they weren't absent.
No CPS was called during.
Our parents
your
were not
guys'
absent.
childhood.
Our parents were absolutely amazing to us, but there were some days where they'd be busy doing their own thing. They're like, "Did you guys eat dinner?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had a good ice cube sandwich."
Landon would go into the kitchen. He would make all the spaghetti he could, and he would put like half a pound of butter on it and just eat buttered noodles. Do you remember that? And what he would do is he'd like swallow it, and then he'd pull it back out his mouth.
I don't know
it was
why
disgusting.
that kid was a freak.
He still is a
That
little
kid
bit,
is
but
a
yeah.
little bit of a freak. Oh my gosh, man, we had the craziest stories. Literally, like just some of the stuff we did.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say,
Probably
going back
shouldn't
to the ice storm one. I don't know. It's maybe an overshare, but the whole
Really?
there was a war between the families for like a week because someone clogged up
Yeah.
the downstairs toilet. That we were
Sorry, I
using.
already exposed who did it.
Yeah. Well, so no, I don't know if you know. So we ended up blaming Ellie, who is
Yeah,
their
we
younger
blamed
sister. We
Ellie.
blamed her for the whole week, and it wasn't until probably a year ago the real
way.
culprit came forward and revealed himself.
Was it Jake?
It was Adam.
Oh my gosh! Of course it was Adam.
He came forward. He's like, "Yeah, you remember that time that we all blamed Ellie?" He's like, "That was me." And I was like, "Dude, there's no way." And it's so funny looking back. Like we were blaming a 4-year-old for a massive dump that would clog the toilet when it was a house full of
Dude,
it was a house full of men,
my
and
gosh.
we're blaming a 4-year-old girl over this clogged up toilet.
Oh my gosh, man! But those were the best times, dude. We spent every single day of the summer together on that farm. We built the coolest tree houses, dude. We built
dude.
zip lines that we fell from hard and heavy.
Yeah, there was some rough ones up there. I don't think we ever actually broke any bones though,
Nobody
or
broke bones.
cut ourselves doing like we did after. I broke my foot a couple years later playing airsoft or something. But in our childhood, I don't think any of us had to go to the hospital, did we?
I definitely got hit in the head with a couple rocks.
But did we ever have to go to did anyone ever go
I
to
went to the hospital for that. I broke my wrist, but I wasn't. It wasn't out there.
I don't think we did, which is an absolute miracle. Like there is.
Dude, we built, no joke, I swear to you guys, we were in like elementary and middle school building our own shotguns. Like
Oh yeah.
we did just.
We made that old
crazy
slam
stuff.
fire where we took it was just like galvanized conduit. It wasn't like steel. And we got the one that was like big enough for a 12 gauge, and we literally electrical taped it to that Beeman, Landon's old pistol or his old pellet gun.
Airsoft gun or
Yeah.
pellet gun.
And so we put the shotgun in there and had like something to hit the primer, and you slam. I don't know if we can even say it. I don't want kids out there doing it because there is no way that shouldn't have blown up in our face. No way it should.
Yeah, we did some absolutely sketchy stuff, man. I'm glad that we got to do those things because it taught us respect for those sketchy
absolutely.
things. And then like now you grow up and you learn like.
And I'm
Where
gonna say like if I see my kids, if my kids start asking for galvanized steel, and
Exactly.
I'm gonna be like, nah, no chance. I know what's like. No, I think we found some, but like if I see my kids playing with shotgun shells and galvanized steel, like I almost learned the lesson the hard way. I'm not gonna let them learn it. I'm gonna let them learn other lessons, but the shotgun shell next to the head, I'm not gonna be doing that.
We did some things that we probably shouldn't have, but I swear to you, that's where you learn, like, for us, like, that's where we learn, like, gun safety and, like, what to do, what not to
As
do.
backwards as that sounds, yeah.
Like, dude.
Because there's not one of us that would even consider doing half that now. Like, looking back, we were like, absolutely not.
Yeah, like, we even just, like, playing airsoft when we were kids, dude. First off, it was a horse farm that we pretty much grew up on, and we would go play airsoft every single day in all these old abandoned horse barns.
Dude, that's the first thing I spent like my real money on. I worked for like a week, had like $60, and I was like, I am buying an airsoft gun. I was shopping on every website I could. Looking back now, Amazon probably has one that's 100 times better.
Bro, it's a sniper. It's
But yeah, it was a
120
sniper.
FPS.
It was like, I can't remember, $60 or $120. I can't remember, but I saved up for this thing, and it was like 100. I think it was like up to like 450 FPS. It was a sniper rifle. It was like bolt action.
I had a buddy who Austin Roberts. He was the first one to introduce me to airsoft, like weapons.
He's a good
or whatever.
man.
Good soul. But no, dude, we used to have airsoft wars in my playroom upstairs.
Oh Lord.
Which is like, if I could describe to you guys, probably like a 300 square foot like room. We would straight up just be pelting each other. We'd get like the couch cushions,
Oh my
and we'd set them
gosh.
as like barricades, and we'd start in the middle. Like we put the guns in the middle like dodgeball, and we'd have to run from. He would start at one end of the room, and I'd start at the other, and we'd run in the middle, pick up the airsoft guns, and then start shooting each other, and just go until the other person just can't anymore because you're too welted.
Or until somebody's eye gets put out.
Yeah. Well, I think we were always pretty smart about wearing glasses. Like, we would find them. It may not have been the best ones, but we're just out there in sunglasses, anything to at least cover your eyeballs.
It's like, what do you got? I got Dad's new pair of glasses. He won't find out.
Dad's $400 prescription, because it's not like, it wasn't like now. Now you couldn't get prescription lenses in the mail for $120 a month. It was like $500 to $1,000 for a nice pair of glasses, and we're just throwing stuff on.
Dude, we got in so many fights too when we were kids. Tell them about the squirrel that I.
Oh, I think we need Landon for that though. So we'll kind of give the synopsis of it, but like there was this whole thing where Luke, was it Luke?
It was me.
Yeah, Luke was at our house, and this was
We're in
not
high
the farmhouse anymore. We're probably high school. So I definitely was high school because I started there as a freshman. So
I was probably 8th grade.
yeah, so it's the second house. It's no longer the farmhouse. We moved, but we still had a little piece of land to do some stuff on. But we had a basement that had a sliding glass door downstairs, and there was this squirrel that was hanging out probably 20 yards out the back door, and we had all had like the Gammo pellet guns and all that stuff. And so Luke loads up one of them, steps out, cracks open the window, and puts the gun out and shoots at this squirrel. And we hear someone come, "That's my squirrel! That's my squirrel!"
My squirrel.
That's my squirrel. Yeah, Landon's mad because Landon's been, I guess, feeding this squirrel. He's been putting like nuts and stuff on a plate for this same squirrel, he said. Yeah, dude. So he's over here fattening this thing up. I don't know what he's going to do with it, but Luke shoots at it, and Landon starts freaking out. And he's like, "My squirrel." And I was like, "Dude, you can't own a squirrel."
He thought
He's like,
he
"Dude,
owned the
I've been feeding that thing." I was like, "Dude, you can't own a squirrel. I don't care what it is." And there was this whole thing, and it turned into a complete fist fight.
Yeah, it
between
was
me
a
and Landon in
sibling.
the
It was a
basement over this.
brothers fist fight. Literally, I'm not kidding you. We just knocked down, drag out fist fight in the
Oh, dude,
backyard.
yeah.
And then we left, and we were like, "I hate you. I'm never coming back over. We're done.
Yeah,
like, we're
man.
not being friends."
Next day, like, I'd call.
No, it was
I'd
like
call
that
the old
evening.
502 502
265.
265 1040.
Exactly.
Do you remember Goshen House?
I don't remember.
228-1186.
No, but yeah, that was back when we had home phones. But
Yeah, you had to remember numbers, but so the end of the day, we'd call them like, "Hey, what are you guys doing tomorrow? You guys want to go? You guys gonna go squirrel hunting?"
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Just don't shoot my squirrel.
Hang on, I want to go stop this.
But yeah, we
got
did
a
that,
forest
man.
fire going right now.
Yeah, we got a little
Put it
bit of
out.
a forest
There we go.
fire. Not really, but
No.
a little bit of grass catching on fire.
It was
Some
raining
trees
here
just
earlier
stomping
before
around.
we started recording.
But man, that basement down there too. That basement that I shot that squirrel out of.
Oh, dude, that
Dude,
was I don't want to say the best hangout because I know we had the Goshen. I think the Goshen is the ultimate, like, because we had the barns.
Yeah, the
So,
barns were awesome.
There was at Goshen, there was like a property kind of adjacent to us that had what we called the yellow barns, and they had, I mean, they're just massive old horse barns. No
Brown
horses left them
barns, baby.
anymore. They were just old barns sitting there and rotting. So we'd go over there and we'd climb through all the lofts and build stuff. And like 4 years into doing this, we found another set of barns that was a little farther down that were like the horse training barns. Like they were the round ones with the walkers in it.
Trainers.
Yeah, and so we were like, we found that, and we made swings on all the
Yeah.
trainers, and we would ride it around, run
It
as
would be
fast as
like,
we
all
can.
right, 3 of us can get on the swings, and 3 of us have to run and pull
Yeah.
these ropes so that we can get going fast enough to actually have fun. And we would get those things whirling.
Cooking like that. Like there was sometimes those ropes. If you weren't one of the swingers and you were the puller, those ropes behind
Yeah.
you coming at you were like, I mean, whips. And then they had like knots at the end usually, or a stick. It would be a stick so that you can sit on it.
Yeah.
And those sticks would come flying around about head level. Dude, that was a little dicey for a little bit. But those barns though, that's going back to airsoft. That's where we had the best airsoft battles.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
it
you
was
could
like-
hide in them forever.
Yeah, so like this barn, kind of for the listener's sake, is probably 100 yards, 160 to 100 yards. I can't remember. It was
They were pretty big.
yeah, it was pretty long. And then on like down through the middle, they had a main aisle of stalls and then 2 smaller aisles on the outsides. And so like through the main aisle of stalls, all the stalls are open at this point, so you can hide in them. And there's like some trash still piled up in some of them. And like we had like wheelbarrows flipped over in some of the aisles. And like you would start one barn, one team on the other side one team on one, and
Just
they
work your way through.
work your way through, and it was so cool. Like you get in those hallways, and you felt like you were in just the heat of battle, just shooting down this hallway at somebody. None of us could afford the automatic ones, so we're all just like pump shotguns. Just
I was a big pistol guy.
Luke is a pistol guy. I liked my pump shotgun. That one I had from Walmart. Remember the one that got broke on the trampoline?
Yeah, because
I
it would
threw a
fire
fit.
3 rounds at a time.
Yeah, and you could change the hop up on it, and I had that thing dialed in, man. Then BBs would come from underneath you almost, bro.
Dude, they were so much fun. But we were out there shooting shotguns and stuff too when we were kids, and that was cool too. But dude, there's so many stories that we have of being kids and literally just messing around like that.
Man, I mean, shoot. I had the land. I didn't really have. See, growing up, I wish I really wanted to live in like a neighborhood because I wanted a bunch of other kids to hang out with. So I had all the land you could really ask for, but I didn't really have anybody to hang out with and go do wild stuff. I don't really. Everything else I have just would be super just like, oh, really? Okay. So there's nothing crazy that I would do. Other than just like crashing a dirt bike here and there, or running over my brother with a go-kart, or
Hey, man, those are good stories right there.
Man, stoking the fire, aren't you?
Yeah, the fire is not cooperating, so Chase is trying to get it right, and really what he's doing is blowing some smoke into my
You blowing
face.
smoke up my butt? No.
But nah, man, that's why I think we've got a little bit of a unique story and a unique group of guys, because we grew up doing things that not everybody got to do. A lot of kids, they did live in the neighborhoods, and we did too. You know, growing up a little bit older, you know, into high school, I think we both lived in kind of neighborhoods. We still had some land and stuff, but not everybody has those.
None of the land was ours. We snuck across some property lines. But
Yeah.
we had land to play with.
Yeah, that's where. Okay, so here's the deal. I make a lot of videos about joking
Look,
about game
that boot's
wardens.
smoking, brother. That boot is smoking.
These Rocky
The
boots,
Rockies.
man, they're smoking a little bit. I got them a little too close to fire, but
I don't think the Rocky boots are fireproof.
no, probably not. But
Waterproof.
they might be fireproof. I don't know.
They're waterproof.
I don't want to test out if they're fireproof or not.
What's the insulation weight on those things? 1,500 or?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. But look, here's the deal. All the game warden videos that I make, where I'm just joking around making these funny videos about game wardens and stuff, dude, when we were kids, no joke. If we lived in a neighborhood, buddy, you couldn't keep us from the land around it. We would be running back through there. And I made this video the other day, and I was joking about running from the combine, and I am not kidding you. Literally, we would do that. Like, we would be sneaking back there, and we really just, I don't even know if we were sneaking. I just think we didn't even know any better.
That's the thing, too, is I don't think we knew. It probably because, especially Goshen, we own 280 acres out there. We lived on it. I guess we didn't own it. Yeah, that's a lot. And so, like, we'd see somebody on a tractor, and we'd think we were trespassing, and so we'd go running and hiding. But the chances are is they were trespassing, and they were trying to hide from us.
Or we didn't realize that they were just leasing the farm, and we thought, wow, we're on somebody else's property.
Yeah,
But
somebody, they leased it out for we had a lot of fields, a lot of crops, so they, like, leased it out for crops and stuff. So we were freaking out because we were running from these guys, and they didn't have any desire to do anything to us.
Dude, either way, though, anytime I saw anybody, I was gone.
Yep.
You could not catch me, buddy. I was like Mowgli from the Jungle Book.
We
I
would
was gone.
And we would fake run, like we would run away from our house and then take the long way around because we were scared they were going to know where we
They were
live.
going to track us back.
They were going to come back and find out where we live, and they were going to arrest us. We had one guy one time scream at me and Landon. I don't know. I think this was just me and Landon. We were over on his property. He was renting the house that the property was on, whatever. And me and Landon were over in one of his barns doing something. He starts screaming at us, "You want to go to juvie? I'll call the cop. I'll take you to juvie."
That.
And that's, I think, what scared us the most. So we ran. That's the first time I remember cognitively doing it. We ran away from the house and then got like half a mile or more away and then like snuck back around the long way. It took us like an hour and a half to get home just so this guy wouldn't catch us.
Dude, I remember hiding back there behind the house on, they had a house on this road called Garden Circle, and we would be back there in the woods. I think at that point we might have known that we were back a little too far.
I think we
that's
only
where all
owned
the
5
big-
or 6 acres at that point,
That's
so it was
where all
kind
the
of
big
clear where
deer
the
were.
lines were.
That's where all the big deer were, and we were still young. You know, I'm still in middle school. And to be fair, our dads weren't like avid hunters, so they taught us how to do things or whatever, but we learned by making mistakes and running
100%.
from people and just
Like
figuring it out on our
there's
own.
nothing like, so we kind of got the basis from our parents, like the core values of life, obviously, but then like being outdoors and surrounding yourself with friends and making memories. We got that from our parents, but like my dad isn't patient enough to fish. He said he doesn't like to fish. He likes to catch. That's what he says. And then when he goes deer hunting, I think he did a lot more when he was our age, but now, like I think the last deer he shot, he was sitting in the kitchen or something, and it was when we were on that old horse farm, and like 300 yards out, he sees this massive buck, like this big 10-pointer. So he like took his 30-30 out, took a shot that was probably at its reach,
at its maximum range,
and dropped this thing. And I think that was the last time he walked back there. It was dead, and he loaded it up on a tractor, brought it back to the house. Like I don't think he's much of the hunter anymore. So like all this stuff, especially Isaac, the guy's he's an absolute pool of knowledge, because the guy is just
encyclopedia.
Yeah, he really is. If you want to know anything about outdoors biology, or
what kind of tree that is, what kind of bug
what kind
it
of grass this is, can I eat this? Isaac
why
knows.
It matters.
Isaac knows. And like all the different, not even that too, like the intricate details of like fishing techniques and where to cast when the sun's over here, where do you put your bait? And Isaac has all these different things. I'm not even close to that, but I think growing up the way we did taught us everything we know about it. And even if we may not even know all the right stuff, we definitely don't.
Oh, we still kind of, we're a lot safer and a lot smarter, but I still think we hunt differently than a lot of people. Like, I said it on the last podcast, but dude,
we don't have tree stands.
I like hunting from the ground. I don't really like hunting over a big corn pile.
I also think the way that it's set up now for us that's kind of, I don't want to say our only option, because we do have some solid, like consistent land to hunt now. But even then, like we don't like to hunt the same spot every year. We don't go put up a stand and then just go back to that same stand every year. Like we like to hunt different spots of the property.
Public land.
And like if we, or public land, like right now where we're at. But like if we see a spot like that, we're sitting there hunting, and the next day we see deer moving in a different spot, we'll adjust the next day and just go sit in a different spot. And it's cool because you can, it allows you to like learn from nature around you and where the best path is. And when you get out there and sit and see it on the ground level and know why and where it's going, it's really cool because you can always adjust. And I don't think that's a common thing. I think most guys like to put out a corn pile and put a deer stand in front of it and walk out and shoot one on opening day. That's fine. That's fine. That's why I haven't shot a deer in 5 years.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's why we don't always shoot the biggest deer.
Yep.
But man, do we have fun when we go out?
I'll tell you, I appreciate my little 6-point more than that guy does on that Texas high fence farm. I promise.
I agree.
I worked for it. He showed up and had a check.
Are we about to run out of camera battery here? We might need to get a check on the camera.
Let's give her a check.
But
if we lose you, we'll be back.
No, I think we'll be good. We might need to change that camera battery, but our audio is still going strong here.
Still gonna keep rocking even if we have a little media blackout.
We're still gonna keep rocking and rolling here on the Base Camp.
Speaking
podcast.
of media blackouts, well, we got a little break. I think a couple of us now, I think we've kind of known for a while, like this whole social media culture and the swipe culture and scroll culture is kind of killing our brains. So we all decided we're gonna take a little media break. So we're all excited about that. That was kind of one of the reasons we want to get out here where there was no signal, so that we don't have to think about it or worry about it. It's just kind of living in the moment.
If you guys are watching the video right now, we just had to change the battery, but we're still rolling here. So,
Enmen's getting himself some water, I think.
Yeah. So I think so. Oh man,
smoke got you.
The smoke got me. It got me, brother. But dude, out here on the public land, and we literally just came out here with no plan, and we're just enjoying the moment right now. Like, we don't have to be out here filming a podcast, but to be able to look back on it and be like, wow, that's what it was like.
We were going to be talking about this around a fire regardless.
Anyways.
So now you get to hear what we were going to say, which is cool. And
Exactly.
It's not that we want to share every aspect of our lives, obviously. We've had a whole day off camera, which was just kind of for us to enjoy and have fun and do our thing. But this, we're kind of just sharing stories we would have said anyway for you guys to hear too.
I think these podcasts are going to be super cool, and not everybody's going to listen to them. There's going to be a lot of people who started this video and haven't made it this far.
Because they're not patient enough. I think that's the thing with these ones. I think these podcasts are, if you're not going to be patient and you don't want to listen and kind of learn as you go, you're not going to enjoy it. But I think if you're a person that could kind of take a break and reset and kind of just slow down for a minute, you can kind of sit and listen. I think it's a perfect opportunity for that.
Dude, I think I'm a podcast guy. I could get in the car and just listen to a podcast forever.
Yeah, I mean, I used to not be a big podcast guy. I don't even know when I started listening to podcasts, but I don't know. I think it's a cool way for some cheap entertainment, man.
It's not too bad. This is free.
Well,
man.
I don't even really know too many people out here that are doing something like this, where they literally set up a podcast at a campfire.
Like just randomly.
Everybody else is in a studio. We're
It's
just out
way too
here
legit.
in some public land, under the stars
And clouds.
and chilling. Yeah, basically under the clouds. We're just chilling, man. You know, this is just what it's about. Yeah, I had to get some water.
Yeah, Adam's not with us because he's in Savannah, Georgia right now with Cameron Morgan.
He's entertaining the
So-
likes of Mr. Morgan.
He's entertaining the likes of Mr. Morgan, but we're out here carrying the team strong.
carrying the boats.
We're carrying
Carrying
the
the
boats
logs.
and the logs, buddy.
Had to carry the logs all the way up this mountain.
Yeah, if you don't know David Goggins, you should go check him out.
Dude, the other day,
Stay
so
hard.
speaking of like podcasts, so I fell asleep listening to this podcast because I like history and mystery and all that stuff. So I was listening to one the other day and fell asleep listening to it, right? And so I wake up in the morning, and so I frequently listen to it's HBR, I think is what it's called. It's like Honey Badger Radio, and it's this thing on Spotify where they post like motivational stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I wake up at like 3 in the morning to it's a 28-minute loop of all the most motivational Goggins moments. It's like Goggins and Jocko. And so I wake up at like 3 in the morning, and I've got David Goggins just telling me I'm a piece of crap. Like,
Yeah, did you feel convicted like you needed to go run 50 miles?
I did not. I'm not that I'm not that easily persuaded. But I did kind of chuck with that because it literally just blasted me out of my sleep at 3 in the morning. Maybe it was God trying to tell me I need to
Stay hard.
run an ultra. Yes, God telling me I need to stay hard.
Dude, I tell you right now, speaking of sleep, this little setup that we got for tonight, man, I can't wait. We got these Climb Aloft pads. They're from Climate, and I think they're Climb Aloft XLs. And you literally blow them up and you lay
takes
out
like
on them, and they're like
5 minutes to blow them up.
Tempur-Pedic.
Yeah.
Or you just get a pump and it literally takes like no time at all. But
we did not prepare enough for a pump. I don't think we prepared at
No.
all. I'll
good
be honest.
old oxygen straight from the lungs.
Yeah, I think we were over here. Me and Luke were about to keel over for a second.
I was getting winded, I'm not gonna lie, but it was worth it because we're gonna sleep on them. They're like Tempur-Pedic.
They're
we
nice.
got to sleep on them, and then there's I guess like a little loft, like wooden
old
bench
fur.
in this truck. That
So I
Chase
know
is
Newman
sitting on.
referenced it earlier, talking about his grandpa's old truck, 75, right? 75 Ford Ranger. This thing is mint. This thing is so sweet. So it's like the original. It's not lime green. How would you describe it? Like a grassy green, field green.
It's grass green.
It's really it's sweet. You'll see it on the video here, but I'm telling you, this thing with this little Deaver or Davin pop top on the back, I think it's what it is. Yeah, it's an old kind of retro. It's really awesome, but it's got the green shag carpet in the bed of the truck, and it's gonna be sweet. They got the inside of this thing is sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be the best sleep that we've had.
Full
in a minute.
bellies, content, man. We're gonna be dozing.
Dude. If you want to turn some heads, just get in this truck and drive it around town. We got offered,
Dude, we were driving on
cash.
we were driving on the interstate, breaking necks. You know,
Oh, every car that came by was turning and looking.
These people just love the Ford Ranger XLT.
I think people miss how it used to be. I think that's what it is. I think people just want to get back to it. They're tired of driving their Kia Rios.
driving their freaking plastic cars around, man. I don't know, dude. There's something special about just kind of hopping into a car that's got some history. You know, just coming out here and enjoying a good old fire, a good dinner with the boys, and you know, just enjoying the freaking God's green earth out here.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah. I
Simple.
told
simple.
I told Chase's
that'll do it.
I told Chase's dad today, thanks for letting us take the truck, because what a privilege that is to be
Yeah.
able to just be trusted to go take it
Yeah,
out.
long story. The truck my grandpa bought in 1975, brand new for
Off the showroom floor.
yeah, off the showroom floor for $8,000, and
It's like 40, 50 grand a day, probably.
oh yeah, it's definitely worth up in the 40s. Probably thanks Obama, but yeah, he bought it off the showroom floor, brand new, $8,000. Drove it home. My dad was telling me that he remembers when he pulled up in the driveway with it, and my dad was just in awe about it. Mac Daddy, like radio for the day, just everything or whatever. And he's kept it mint ever since. And so now it's in my dad's hands, and now my dad's let me take it around, doing what my grandpa and my dad did, and drive around and camp out in it. And so that's what we're doing now. So
Yeah.
it's a really cool privilege to be able to come out here and do this, especially with some good dudes. Not a lot of people come out here and do this, and have this opportunity and take advantage of it. I mean, it's a freaking Friday night. We're out here, we're chilling. We're not at the bars. We're not doing anything crazy. We're just enjoying a simple life.
Yeah. I told Paul Chase's dad, thanks for letting us take it out or whatever, and he was like, look, man. He's like, my dad got this truck, and he let me take it out, and I got, to experience a lot of cool things in that truck, and, I want to pass that on to you guys. I want you guys to be able to go out and have fun in it and go see new things, and
That's what it's about, man. You gotta take advantage of the stuff you got. Even if you don't have something cool like this. I know each and every single one of you guys that are listening to this, y'all can go load up your Ford Escape. Y'all can find a way. Because we've done that. We found a way in almost anything. So, go out, go enjoy the opportunity that you have in this country to come out here and go camp on some public land or just go.
It's our land. It's our land. Why don't we use it? We pay the taxes for it.
Yeah, you guys pay all your taxes to. You might as well just come out here and do it. I don't know. You don't even have to go out to public land. You literally go in your backyard, even if you live in a neighborhood. But I don't know. There's something cool about this, and I don't know. It's so special.
I can't wait to be able to be a dad and be able to pass down the truck that I buy to my son and his friends, and then he passed it down to his son, and
Absolutely.
just keep those generational memories alive. I think that's super cool, man. I mean, these opportunities and these experiences to me are worth more than absolutely any amount of money.
Absolutely.
Just if you watch Instagram Reels or TikToks or anything now, you'll see some of those videos where it's like the new wealth or whatever. Dude, I feel super fortunate that I've been able to do some really
We've
cool
experienced
stuff.
this our whole life. The new wealth that everyone's talking about. We've got to live that. The whole new wealth with friends and family and memories. We've done that. We're
Super
doing that.
blessed.
Yeah.
Even recently, we just went to Montana. We just came back, and there's people who've never even been out there or done that or camped or that's a dream. That's a dream trip, and we've been blessed with the opportunities to be able to go and do it. And I said it in the last video too, but we've got some great sponsors and stuff who helped us out and made it possible. And to be able to have those opportunities while we're still pursuing, our careers and our own lives is just the coolest thing in the world.
And we wouldn't have been able to do that if we had just sat. Luke's getting smoked out right now. But we wouldn't have been able to do that if we tried to get the perfect video every time. You wouldn't we would just be still sitting there trying to figure out how we can't upload this because we don't have this shot or we don't have this camera equipment.
Have all this, we'd be filming it on our phones.
I know. I was literally I was gonna record my audio on my iPhone. Luke's like, nah, man, just share the mic. It'll be better. Which I think it will be better for the sound's sake. You guys are welcome. You guys can thank Luke. But no, man, we just went out there, and we just kind of just sent it. And I don't know. I think a lot of people get hung up in the whole process of trying to figure out, having the best equipment or doing any sort of that stuff. Man, just if y'all are out here listening to this right now, I mean, you're privileged enough. I mean, this is coming from one privileged guy to another. We're all blessed to be in this country and have the opportunities that we have. If you're able to listen to this now, man, you guys want to do something like this, just send it. I mean, just do it.
Yeah, that's like just sending it, just doing it kind of thing. This whole trip started out, I think like 2 weeks ago, I messaged the group and was like, hey, so last year, this time of year, me, Adam, and Chase went hiking. We took my convertible Mustang up in the mountains and rode the country roads in the fall and stuff, and we were going to do that again. And so I hit the group up. I was like, hey, let's go do a cruise. Like, let's go hike and do this. And then Newman said something. He's like, I want to go camp. And I was like, well, let's go camp. So we literally just started off as one thing, started the idea of wanting to come out and just hike, and now we're camping. It's one of those things where, like we said, we're not prepared. Like, I think we were talking about earlier, we have no snacks. Like
We just have steaks and burgers.
We have 2 paper plates left, and we have no silverware. We just have some plastic forks and some knives. We didn't bring any like spatulas. We didn't do any of that, so we're very underprepared.
Yep.
But we're still gonna rough it out.
Yep.
You know, we're having a good time out here doing the things that we love with the people we love, and man, this is your sign. This is your sign. Go out, go do something.
Go buy the plane ticket. Go take that road trip.
Yeah, man. So I don't know.
Just
Yeah, dude, you gotta break up just the same pattern, because we're just all normal people. We can all get stuck into that just the same. I don't even know what you would call it. Just that the way of life, man. It could get so tedious and so repetitive. If you don't go out and exercise it every now and then, it could be hard to enjoy the things that you really do have, because you have a lot, and I don't know.
You know what I want to do?
A beaten road. What?
I want to make I want to physically write down. I know you said you're not a writer, but I want to write down and make a bucket list. And I want to check stuff off. Like, I have so many things in my head and so many ideas.
Kind of like yes theory.
Yeah, dude, I got
stuff.
so many ideas and just things that in my life I want to see that, maybe I might not ever get to do them, but it'd be really freaking cool to try for it. Like, just, like, I want to see the Northern Lights, dude. I've got to see the Northern Lights. If I don't see that, I'm going to be disappointed in myself, because I know that it's possible. I know that that's something I want to do. That's a bucket list item for me. I want to write that down.
So speaking of like bucket list, I just like a couple years ago, me and some friends went out to Las Vegas for a week. I was in between. I literally just got hired at this one job. Told them I needed to start date of this date, and then put my 2 weeks in with just enough time to take a quick trip, and got to go out to Vegas. We went out there and went to the Grand Canyon. If you haven't got to do that, have you both seen it?
Yep.
Oh yeah. So the Grand Canyon, I didn't know that I needed to see it. I thought like, I've seen the pictures. I don't need to see it. I thought it was just a bunch of rocks. It's amazing out there, dude. Like, me and some friends set up on the top, just didn't say a word, didn't talk to each other, didn't take pictures, and just sat there for like an hour just looking out into the freaking abyss. Like, it was just amazing.
Dude, I counted the other day. I've been to 33 states.
Oh boy,
I'm getting up there. Okay, I'm getting up there. No, I've been through a couple of them, but the majority of them that I counted, I've been to them.
Dang.
Which is pretty cool, man, to say that you've done that. And another bucket list thing of mine, one of these days, when I find a wife, Lord willing, because it ain't easy. It is not easy.
No,
one of these days, man, when I find a wife, I want to go to all the states together. I want to go all 50 states together and make that a challenge for us. I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
Keep the spark going.
Yes.
Keep the spark alive, man. I think traveling and doing stuff like that is a cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing to do together, and you grow together and learn each other more. And for me, that's something that I want to do.
Yeah, and I mean, we know times are hard for a lot of people or whatever, but like, this is just like, if you get the opportunity to go do something cool, man. Yeah. What were the flight prices to Denver?
So I was driving out here, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go back to Montana, or I want to go to Colorado so bad. Dude, I literally got on the internet and looked up flights from Nashville. They're under $100 round trip. I literally found a $38 round trip to Denver, Colorado.
How is a company even making profit?
I don't know how they're making profit, but guys like me are buying those tickets. Guys like me are buying those tickets.
Suckers like us.
I have no plan. It'll be a Friday.
I have $38 in my account.
I literally have $38 in my account, and I'm like, you know what? What am I going to spend that on? I'm going to Denver. I got no plans.
But dadgummit,
think about how far you could spend $39 on a dinner, or you could spend $39 to go bowling, which are still fun. But like you can spend, you can't even get dinner for $39. That's you could feed a family of 3 at Chick-fil-A for $39, or you could pack up a backpack, throw it on, walk through the airport, go through security, hop on a plane for $40, fly out to Colorado. Yeah, you got to pay for some stuff out there. You got to find somewhere to stay, or even pack a tent in your bag.
Yeah.
And when you get out there, you just go find public land, which, I mean, the perfect place for it. The land you pay for, take your tent out there onto that public land, set it up for 4 days, pack it up, come back. $38.
I went to so I did a road trip when I was in college, and I went out to Utah, drove all the way through there, and you know, I had no money or whatever. Dude, I found an Airbnb in I think it was Zion National Park for $50 a night. It was super nice.
Dang.
And then that was all that I could afford. So the next night, you know, I got one good night with a shower.
One good
Then
sleep.
the next night, dude, we found like a campground for like $8 a night. And I did find like a Black Widow in my tent that night.
Oh, man.
But
That wasn't the campsite's fault.
it wasn't the campsite's fault. That was probably on me. But, you know,
Good times, man. You know
look
what?
for
We're
it,
just
you can go find
we're
it,
just
man.
taking advantage of our youth and our availability now to do the things we are, and we're also gonna document it as well. And you know what? If it's cool enough for people to want to watch, we'll upload it, and they can watch it. If they don't, who cares? Now we got it on the internet forever.
We want to be those grandpas that have those
Yeah.
good stories to tell.
I know.
So, you know, we're all sitting at the house bored. And we're like, you know what? Let's go on a camping trip.
So our great grandkids can say, yeah, you know what Grandpappy did? Yeah, he did all this. You could check it out. Look what he looked like when he was 23.
Yeah, back in my day, we went out to the public land.
Back in my day.
Well, my kids won't watch this modern TV like Cocomelon and all these. What-
I didn't grow up on the. I wasn't an iPad kid.
No, I don't think any of us were. But like, if my kids are gonna watch anything, I think I'm just gonna set them in front of the TV with our videos rolling. Just let them watch it, see what they can do, and let them just kind of take inspiration from what we did and go out and do it.
Yeah, I'm still working on the money part, but
Yeah, you just gonna let them like watch this Midwest Madness only?
Only Midwest Madness.
only Midwest Madness for the grandkids. But
No, I'll let them watch some football with me.
dude, I'm so excited too because, and this podcast is probably getting a little bit long, but I am excited too for.
I'm the same way. How long do you think we are?
I love Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's just say an hour.
Yeah, I will say one thing too. I'm excited for the pilot thing. I'm not trying to be that, you know, the typical
I'll hand it
stereotypical.
off to the other pilot.
I am a pilot, but
Hold on,
I am
wait.
excited for that because
Luke's a
dude,
pilot.
I'm a pilot. Chase is a pilot.
What do you guys do for a living?
We're pilots.
I'm a full-time student pilot.
Yeah, I'm a private pilot. But
I clapped out 172.
yeah, Zero Mike Goff. Shout out Zero Mike Goff. Or Mike Goff. OMG, baby.
OMG.
But dude, one of these days, like I say, one of these days, it's gonna be pretty soon.
yeah,
Chase and I are gonna be buzzing around the sky together,
dude.
completing side quests, and I think it would even be cool to get a podcast while we're flying because we can record the audio from
Yeah,
our
with our
headsets,
headsets.
which are literally $1,300 microphones
I know.
on our faces while we fly, to be able to get the audio. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't know.
we're gonna be safe, Mom, but while we're flying,
We're
you
gonna be
know?
safe, FAA. Okay.
Exactly. FAA, if you're listening, we're safe student pirates. But it's going to be so cool, dude. Literally, like, imagine we're like, all right, we just want to go fly to Savannah, Georgia and hang out with Cameron for the day. We got to
Yeah.
get these hours up anyways. Let's film a podcast while we're flying.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it's going to be amazing. And we were talking about titles for it the other day.
Just
Plain talk.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm so
Just plain
excited for the
talk.
future, dude. And
A lot
I
of cool
don't know.
things to come, dude. I want to get the seaplane rating,
yeah,
and we all fly out to, you know, like
I want to go
Alaska
in on
or
a
somewhere.
plane or something together.
We all get a plane together. We go on some cool hunting trips, take our
Oh.
families.
Man.
That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah,
We make our own little grass strip. We buy a piece of land. Chase Enmen's gonna finish up his private pilot's license or sport pilot. We don't know. And we're all gonna be able to go up and fly in formation, do some sunset flights together.
that should.
Good times, man.
It's got a bunch of gas in it. Yeah, no, man.
That's
We're
the goal.
powering this whole setup with a little handheld generator back there. And
Yeah, that thing might be dying.
we thought it was dying. I don't know. I might need to go put gas in it. That's one thing too that my grandpa thought ahead. You know, he said one day, my grandson's gonna want to be out here filming a podcast with his buddies out in Eastern Kentucky public land, and he's gonna need some gas. So you know what? I'm gonna put three,
not one.
not
Not
one,
two.
not two, but
Three.
20-gallon tanks up in this mug, so he can go and fill up his handheld generator, so he can film a podcast for Midwest Madness. So I don't know. I might have to go get gas here soon, but dang, dude, our fire's kind of actually.
Yeah, our fire's going
No,
down.
it's perfect though, because we're about to call it a night probably.
Yeah.
And
We're going to get a nice cozy sleep in our sleeping bags. We might wake up in the morning and slock Big Louie. We got the Bear Bows with us.
the bare bows.
We got a target, so we're going to get some practice in.
But shoot, boys. Well,
I think that's a solid freaking podcast for the
I know.
night, man.
yeah, I think we can call it as it is. Daggum.
We got so many good things. You know what? Tomorrow, you never know. We might film
I
another
know.
podcast. with
We could
Landon
film
in it.
another freaking like coffee talk or something.
coffee talk.
Make a cup of
Coffee
Joe,
talk.
Public Joe.
That's
Public
a awful
Joe.
yeah, coffee
Public
pot.
Joe. The podcast name is Public Joe.
Public Joe. Cup of Joe.
But shoot, daggum. I think it was a solid pod. If you guys have made it this far, I appreciate you.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Long
appreciate you.
content's not always easy, and I appreciate your time for tuning in.
We really do enjoy making this content, and we do it because we absolutely love it, because none of us got paid a single dollar to make this podcast today, and we don't get paid for this stuff. But,
And
you
we
know,
just want to inspire the next one. And that's all it is, man. If you guys do something cool, go do something and inspire somebody. You know?
We'll listen to it.
it's
We'll
just,
listen to your podcast. We'll watch your videos.
I think it's just fun when you see that people actually enjoy hearing
Normal
about
people.
your normal life.
Normal life.
So that's, when I see somebody comment on there and they're like, dude, these stories are awesome. Like, we want more of that. I'm like,
Yeah.
heck yeah, buddy. Next time I go out and I camp or I'm in my bedroom, let's just throw up a podcast because these people are enjoying it, or another video. It's definitely motivating to keep
Yeah.
you going, because it is fun, but it's also a lot of work.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, because we got a lot more of these coming.
Yeah, Chase, you got
And,
anything else to say for the? I mean, you'll make your appearance here probably in a couple episodes, but anything else?
Yeah, no, I had a great time doing this. I think there's definitely a lot more to come. I think we need to all go in, get some more pod mics.
I
I think we
agree.
need to get upwards of 6.
I don't like the handoff.
The handoff's been messing with me. I've been talking in the side, so my audio, you probably just
I'm
can hear
lucky.
quiet audio from
I'm
the right
lucky
side.
because I have the one mic right in
Yeah,
front
Luke
of me. I
got
don't
Luke got the lucky. He got the retractable stand and his own mic.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Look,
but yeah, I had a great time doing this. I obviously look forward to making more. So
Oliver Anthony it. But yeah. We're Oliver Anthony it, you know.
there you
yeah,
go.
just like set it up and run
We're
with it.
filming hits out here, in our backyard.
Look, I will say this.
Overtime hours for boat pay.
Look, I will say this too before we end this podcast. I am very thankful to be out here in the woods with really good friends. Cannot
Genuine
brag
people.
on these guys enough. I'm dead serious when I say that. I'm not trying to get all emotional, but it is really, really hard to find solid men to do life with and have values that align and who are good Christian dudes. Here's a sidetrack really fast. One of our friends the other day got saved. Shout out Abdil,
Shout out to my
man.
boy Abdil.
One of our friends got saved the other day, and
It's amazing.
not to brag on Chase and say that Chase is the
Newman.
reason it happened, but
Chase Newman.
Chase Newman, but Abdil saw the way that Chase lives. He saw the way that Chase acts, and Chase has
Sometimes
been
that's
very
the best
patient.
ministry. You're not putting it in their face and screaming at
The
them, but
best
just
way to-
showing them by example, leading them by example, letting people
best
know
way
that
to
you can
preach
live
the
a
gospel
Christian life.
is to preach continuously, and then when they ask, know the knowledge that's physically in the Word,
Yeah.
but be able to live that out.
Yeah.
And that's what Chase Newman was
That's
doing.
another thing too. Is you guys never know who's watching. You really don't.
There's always
yeah,
people
you really
watching.
think that nobody's paying attention to you, the way you react to something or the way you speak. But man, there's all eyes on you, and as yourself as a Christian, it is your role and your duty on this earth to act in accordance to as Jesus did, and be the best example. You guys talk about how bad the world is today.
The world is dark, man. There needs to be some light.
There is a bunch of light, but everybody's just so they just want to just they want to dim themselves. So
there's not enough masculine men who understand that being a godly man is the most masculine thing that you can do.
Yeah, and
it's not a weak
that's one
thing.
thing I think we're learning even more about as ourselves is that it is more masculine to be a warrior for Christ. There's nothing else cooler than that.
Right. So
somebody's always watching.
All that to say, I am very proud to have a whole friend group, not just us three sitting here right now, but we have a whole friend group who we're not perfect dudes, man. We are not perfect dudes. We have all made so many mistakes, and we could talk about those for longer than this whole podcast has gone on and do that over and over and over again. But we're trying to center ourselves in Christ and be good men and good examples for the people around us. And dude, literally, like, just to lift each other up, come out here and have real talks together and just be open and honest. That doesn't happen very often. So I'm super, super thankful to have a friend group of men who, I get to call my brothers in Christ and my best friends. Super blessed. It's overwhelming when you think about it. Feel super lucky for that, man. So, look, if you're listening to this podcast and you're listening to this right now, this is our little plug right here.
Go pray.
Go look, man. Go talk to God, man. Have a little prayer. But look, God saw us in our brokenness and our sin, and He sent His Son Jesus Christ down here to the earth to die for our sins, take them on the cross. And when He looks at us, He does not look at us for what we've done, but who He has created us to be, perfect in His image. He's forgiven us, forgiven you of your sins and all of the things that you say, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve that, I'm not a good enough person to go to heaven, I don't think I qualify for that. Literally, Jesus took the cross so that you could live in freedom from the weight of the shame and the guilt and the sin that you've been living in.
Yeah.
And there is a peace and there's a comfort that comes from that that you will not find anywhere else. And I can sit here and confidently say that. And it gets me more excited than anything that we've talked about on this whole podcast.
I'd rather talk about that.
It's the most true thing in the world, man. Listen, I know that I'm preaching here, but you have to stop. You have to stop running and trying to hide from the things that stress you out, that worry you, from the guilt, from shame, from your past, from the fear of your future. You have to settle down and sit and pray about it and ask God to change you, man, because living like that on the run is no way to live. It will wear you down and beat you down, and Satan will come and find you when you are vulnerable and when you are weak. It's literally just like being on a battlefield. Your enemy is going to come attack you when you're weak, and that's exactly what Satan does.
And you'll never win that battle, dude. You'll be so worn out.
He will get into your head and tell you are not good enough. You don't deserve this. Yeah. Do you not remember what you've done and these sins that you've committed? And it is not the truth. That is not God convicting you.
Yep.
That is Satan, and he is a liar. And he comes to lie to you and to steal from you and to kill you and to destroy you. Yeah. Totally. He has one job, and he is really, really, really freaking good at it. So
we were all here. We were all put on this earth to worship. We were designed to worship God. So, when Adam and Eve happened and all that mess, we started to worship ourselves, and we as a human beings were designed to worship, but now we worship other things. We worship just celebrities and all these other fleshly desires, on this earth. So we get so lost and we get so sidetracked from who we're actually supposed to worship, and that is our holy God. And so you'll never find fulfillment in any of the things you go do.
Yep.
You'll always be feeling lost and feeling like you're not doing the right thing. That's because you're not doing the right thing. You're following the lie that the devil is telling you, that you're not good enough, and it's a never-ending battle, and you're going to be so beat out and tired and just just be so sick and tired of it, and you just need to turn to God and repent of your sins and ask God to take over your life. And it's a uncomfortable thing because you have to die to your flesh. Like, you literally is such a hard thing to do because everything in you doesn't. You don't want to do that, and you have to make that. You have to make that switch. And I'm telling you, it's just there's no other better feeling out there. It's not even a feeling. It's just the truth, and the gospel will save you. And
I'll tell you what the truth is. The truth is that your days on this earth are numbered.
Yeah.
Your days on this earth
Your
are
life
numbered.
is like a mist.
It's here one day, and then it is gone. It vanishes. It is like a mist, like Chase said. And if you are living your life, man, you're exhausted, you're confused, and you're tired, and you're looking
never
for a change.
win this battle. You may be listening to this podcast. You may have some questions, man. And listen, we can only speak about this because we've lived it. We've tried to do other things ourselves, and it's never worked. We're only sitting here to help you. We're just sharing our experiences and our mistakes. Yeah.
God told them to stay all the way. If they made it this far, God stayed.
Yep. If you made it this far, I'm with Chase. If you made
Absolutely,
it this far,
there's a reason.
And look, let me tell you
And
this.
we don't take that lightly either. You may
Not at
think
all.
that we're saying that as a joke, but there is a reason. The Holy Spirit moves within anything. It could be through the numbers of this video, and
Somebody
and
might
all
need to
that.
hear this. Somebody literally might need to hear this tonight, and they tuned in because they wanted to hear some goofy stories about us running from game
And somehow
wardens.
they made it all the way to the end of this podcast.
Look, man, I think one of the coolest things in the world is letting the Holy Spirit speak through you, and I feel like that this is the reason that we filmed this podcast, is to get to the end so that somebody could hear this, man. Look, that sin might seem fun and it might seem great for a moment.
It
And
is
that's
fun
because
for a little
It can be, but it will leave you emptier
bit. It will
than you were when you got into it. And it
100%.
literally it'll drag you right back.
Yeah.
Satan convinces you that you are missing out on something, that there's something better for you. And then as soon as you give into it, what does he do? He convicts you and he says, oh, man, you gave in. You are so bad. You are so wrong. You're a horrible person, man. You don't have it all together. When everybody finds out, oh, they're going to judge you, man. They're going to.
Same guy that's selling the sickness is selling the cure.
Exactly.
Satan's making you sick and then selling you the cure, and the cure
Exactly.
is more of him. It just makes you more and more sick.
Exactly. Literally, dude, look around
Clip
at
that.
Look around at the world that we are living in. Look at what's going on right now in Israel. While we're sitting here right now, we're very blessed to be
Amen.
sitting here on public land. But in Israel right now, there's war against Israel. Literally, there's war against God. You can see it,
Yeah, the Holy
and you
Land.
can see it in the world that we live in. The
Our
celebrities,
days are numbered.
the way that the world is becoming more and more numb to sin. It's
Yep.
very important right now. If you're not saved and you're listening to this podcast,
Please, legitimately, please talk to somebody that you know personally. You know, there's somebody in your life. I know there's somebody. Whoever's listening to this, you know of somebody that is probably a godly man or a woman. Go and ask some questions. Go ask questions. That's the best part. That's when you learn way more about it. And then there's also, you want to hear. Here's a little lie that the devil tells you. When when you're gonna start giving it a chance, you're gonna start giving God a chance, and then you want to go do it. You're gonna go text that person, and then just out of nowhere you just lose all the motivation, all the thought to go do that, or you start to read your Bible and
You're gonna be bothered. You think you're bothering somebody, so you don't do it.
that is the lie the devil is telling you. You cannot listen to that. You have to go make that next move.
so the most truth that we can tell you on this podcast right now is that if you are worn out, tired, stuck in sin, there is a better way, and it's Jesus Christ. And it's not going to church every Sunday and checking off the
It's
bookmarks.
having a relationship with the
It is a
Holy God.
relationship with Jesus Christ, and you're still not going to be perfect,
No,
but He will bring within you a change that you never could have done on your own. It will be a change for the better. He is a good God. He is not a judgmental God. He wants to give
all of
you
you.
the desires of your heart, and whatever that is, you submit to Him and say, look, man, I am trusting you. When you lay that down to Him, watch what He can do in your life and watch the blessings that He will pour out onto you. He wants to give you those things, but He also wants your heart. Tonight, if you are listening to this today, this morning, whatever it is, if
3
you're
years
listening to
from
this,
now.
there's a better way. Talk to him. Don't be ashamed. Don't be too scared to go talk to somebody else about it. If you know about it and you're still not sure, man, but for some reason,
That's
your
totally
heart
cool,
right
man.
now,
But
you're listening to this and you haven't changed yet. You have not
Yeah.
changed the podcast, and you feel those heartstrings being pulled, man.
conviction.
Maybe it's God trying to speak to you through this, because this just came out of the blue. We were about to end the podcast.
I know, dude. What the crap?
Came out of the blue. We were about to end the podcast. So I'm just saying.
I don't
there-
know, bro.
There could very well be a reason
The Holy Spirit's moving.
that He is trying to speak to you directly right now. If you're listening to this over your speakers and you think that might be you, I ask right now that you would just pray and that you would ask Him to come into your heart and change your life, and that you would be willing to submit to Him and watch what
brother.
He will do. There's
Amen.
nothing cooler. And that's the best way that
Yeah, we need
you
to do
can
some
ever
more
end this
podcasts about
podcast.
this stuff, man.
It's the best way that you could ever end this podcast.
Amen.
If that's you, man,
Christ outdoors.
we're
Outdoor
praying
church.
for you. We're sitting here right now
Amen.
thinking about you. There's a reason that just came out of nowhere.
I know.
And I'm not tired like I was before. I
No,
have an
dude. I was
energy
just about to
me.
say that, dude. I'm wide awake right now.
It gets me fired up because I know how true it is, and I know the feeling when your heart changes and you
Yeah.
give it to Him and you trust in Him and the peace that brings. That fires me up.
Yeah.
That fires me up. There's not enough outspoken people that will say that. This Dadgum podcast is masculine men
Yep.
who love to hunt and fish, and we love God,
Yep.
and we are not ashamed. We don't care if we get freaking canceled. We're going to dadgum share it because it's the truth, and that's who we are as men, and that's who we strive to be, and we're not trying to fake that, and it might not be the popular thing, but we're here to tell you about it. So
Amen,
I
brother.
hope that you listen to that and that you will do something with it.
And you guys are more than welcome to reach out to us.
Reach out
Y'all
to
want to
us.
talk to us? You guys want to know more about it? Dude, dadgummit, DM us on Instagram. We'll give you our personal number.
We will
we'll call
freaking
you.
call you, talk
We
to
don't
you.
care. We'll help you. We'll mentor you through this.
We're not perfect
Yeah.
by any means,
Not perfect. Mess up every single day.
but we know what the truth is, and that's it.
Yep.
There's a better way. It's
Well,
Jesus
shoot.
Christ,
Amen, brother.
and that's a freaking good podcast right there.
Man, let's.
I feel like Chad Wright, man. I could go
Come
run
on,
100
brother.
freaking miles, brother.
Dude, no wonder no
Listen,
wonder
Chili.
he's got so much energy. There's a daggum Holy Ghost within him, man.
I was out there the other day in Tennessee running the freaking 100. I was running the mid-state mile, brother, and Chili was coming in hot, fresh on my heels. And then I got the wind of the Holy Ghost, brother, captivated me.
Shoot.
Man, just freaking cool, man.
Well, our battery's about to die. Our second battery's about to die.
Second battery.
So we're running through this like brick cheese. I don't even know.
Thank you
So-
for listening to the podcast.
So thank you
stayed to
guys.
the end. We appreciate you. We love you guys so much. Subscribe, check us out, watch our
that bell
videos. We would love it.
All right, fellas. That was good.
That's all we got for today's podcast. We're gonna put this fire out, snuggle up in our sleeping bags,
Separate sleeping bags.
in our separate sleeping bags, and we're gonna catch you guys on the next episode of Base Camp.
We're going to go with
Midwest
that.
Madness.
I like base camp.
I like Base Camp. Let's go.
Also,
with
the logo will be cool. You could do the A as a tent
it. Yeah.
and the P as a microphone. I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace and blessings. We're signing out. Base Camp
That's
with
it.
Chase Enmen.
Dude, I don't know what that crap was at the end.
Well, it just got me fired
That got me fired up. I'm not
Got me
joking.
fired up.
I'm fired up.
Fired up.
Oh,
I'm ready to go.